In this, hopefully very short video, I will introduce you to the new Raddy RF919 Shortwaves Radio. However, before I begin, I feel it is important to point out that I am very obviously not some kind of shortwaves radio dork or expert. Nay, I am just a simple YouTube's hobo that happens to own a few shortwave radios. And because I am not a shortwaves radio dork that lives in the basement, in this video, my goal is to simply introduce you to this new shortwaves radio from the perspective of a normal person. The kind of a normal person that wants a shortwaves radio to listen to radio stations from around the world, or to listen to radio stations and amateur radio operators after any kind of regional or worldwide issue. Because bear in mind that in the event of any mostly peaceful issues, whether it be right here in the homeland or in lands afar, it is very likely that the internet would not be available and radio waves would be the best way to get information in or out. And because these short waves can travel all the way across the very obviously flat world, a shortwaves radio may be the best way for you to receive information about what is happening on the ground in that location. Or you could just rely on the mainstream media and take your government's word for whatever is happening. Now, it is at this point in the video that some people will no doubt begin to furiously beat their fingers against their keyboards in a frantic attempt to be the first to leave a comment saying something to the effect of, "But after an EMP attack, your shortwave radio will be useless." And this would be a true statement if you and your radios are in the effective radius of said EMP attack. Allow me to elaborate. If there is an EMP attack in, say, the Middle East, that EMP attack is not going to affect me or my shortwaves radio here in California. Likewise, if there are EMP attacks over New York and Los Angeles, and you happen to live in Montana, you would probably not be affected. And in the event that there are EMP attacks blanketing all of the United States, a shortwaves radio isn't going to help you very much anyway. Not to mention that there are thousands of possible end days scenarios in which EMP attacks are not even part of the narrative at all. What I am saying is, just to be safe, I will include an affiliate link below to various different EMP-proof Faraday bags that can help to not only protect this shortwaves radio from EMP attack, but will also help to keep it clean and dry. Anyway, as I was saying before I drifted into my rant about EMP attacks, I am not a shortwaves radio dork, so this video will be very short and simple, a high-level overview of this radio to give you an idea of what it does, and more importantly, whether or not it is a piece of junk. The price for the new Raddy RF919 Shortwaves Radio is $269 of monies, affiliate link below, and the Raddy Corporation did send me this shortwaves radio at no cost, even though, as I have already stated, I do not really know very much about the shortwaves radios. So when you purchase the new Raddy RF919 Shortwaves radio in the box, you will receive this very handsome neck strap used for hanging the radio around your neck while you wander aimlessly around the park to impress the chicks. You will receive this very tiny screwdriver and this very small cleaning brush. You will receive these waterproof cards which have important reminders about using the antenna and the radio circuitry diagrams, and reminders about using the different antenna options. You will receive this USB-A to USB-C's cable. You will receive this instruction booklet for using the smartphone app for controlling the radio. I will discuss that more momentarily. You will receive a user manual, 37 pages in length. However, the user manual is very, very small with very, very small print that is very, very difficult to read, especially for those of us that are of the older persuasion. It is indeed so small that I was not able to use it, and I was forced to download the online version of the user manual, which is not only more current and updated, but it also has a lot more information in it and is over 60 pages long. I do not know why they even bother with this paper manual. And you will receive the Raddy RF919 Shortwaves Radio. On the top of the radio, you will find 2 antenna plugs, an SMA male plug for connecting a UHF or VHF antenna, and a 3.5 millimeter plug for an AM antenna. You will find an extendable 39-inch built-in antenna, and on the rear, another 3.5 millimeter antenna hole for connecting an antenna to replace the built-in 39-inch antenna for all bands except for medium and long wave. For medium and long wave, the radio has an internal directional antenna. The radio has a kickstand to allow the radio to securely stand without falling over, a button to lock all of the knobs and controls so that you don't accidentally bump or change the frequency unexpectedly, an auxiliary audio plug, a headphone or earpiece plug, a memory card slot, and a USB-C's hole for charging. The radio uses 2 rechargeable 18650 batteries, and they are user replaceable using the aforementioned included tiny screwdriver. And to recharge the rechargeable batteries, you simply connect the aforementioned included USB-C's cable into the USB-C's hole and connect the other to a charging plug, which is not included with the radio. On the front, you will find various and multiple controls and buttons and knobs, a fairly large 20-watt speaker, and not just one, but 2 screens. The radio feels very sturdy, and it does not feel like a lightweight toy. The knobs are a bit loose, but the buttons are tight and have a very satisfying little click to them. It has both a regular tuning knob as well as a fine tuning knob, and an antenna tuning knob for when you have an external antenna connected. When you turn the radio on or off, the radio plays a Morse code jingle. I do not know what the Morse code is saying, but I have no doubts that someone will leave a comment to let us all know. As you are hopefully able to see through the YouTubes, both screens are very bright and very easy to read, and you can change and customize the color of the main screen. You cannot change the color of the secondary screen. The radio is Bluetooth's 5.1 capable, and you can use that to play music from it. As previously mentioned, it also has a memory card slot for storing and playing MP3, WMA, WAV, APE, and FLA files, and you can also connect your computer via the USB-C's hole to play audio files. The radio has preset equalizer settings, so you can adjust the sound of the music or of the shortwaves static of which you are listening to, and you can record whatever you are listening to onto the memory card as well as an MP3 file. And the radio also has an adjustable squelch, so you can cut out all of the static. As I may have already mentioned, this is a shortwaves radio, and it has a very wide receiving range. And this radio can receive shortwaves from 2.3 to 30 MHz in AM, lower sideband, and upper sideband, which many shortwaves radios cannot do. so the Shortwaves radio dorks will love that feature. It can receive commercial AM radio, long-wave radio from 153 to 522 kilohertz AM, VHF from 20 to 250 MHz, narrowband FM, UHF from 250 to 999 MHz, narrowband FM, airband from 118 to 138 MHz, AM, CB radio from 25 to 28 MHz, both AM and FM, and the weather band channels 162.4 to 162.55 MHz, narrowband FM. The radio also has selectable bandwidth settings ranging from half a kilohertz up to 6 kilohertz for most bands, and from 40 to 110 kilohertz on the FM. The radio can automatically scan whatever band you are on to find active transmissions, or you can scroll through using the fine-tune or tuning knobs, and you can manually or automatically store up to 1,600 channels for easy access. The radio can display the current ambient temperature. The only problem is that it does not display the temperature in real degrees, it only displays the temperature in Celsius. In addition to controlling the radio using the knobs and the buttons the old-fashioned way, you can also control the radio using the Radio CT app, which is free for both Android and real phones. To connect and use the app, you just make sure that the Bluetooth is enabled on the radio, open the app, connect, and bang! You are controlling the radio. And whilst you can take this Shortwaves radio right out of the box and start using it, it does have a lot of manual controls, and it is very much not a simple radio or just a toy for the kids, unless those kids happen to already be Shortwaves radio dorks and know how to read a user manual. And that is because in order to take advantage of the many advanced features of this Shortwaves radio, you actually have to know what you are doing, or, at a minimum, read through the user manual.